In light of Roe v. Wade being potentially overturned, I want to describe to you my own personal evolution on the subject of abortion, because I'm sure that many people out there, maybe you watching, have gone through something like this. I was raised in a very far left family with parents that came from Eastern Europe who were basically in favor of communism, socialism, and this was kind of ingrained into me, and I had a lot of the left-wing ideas. Despite this, I never was in favor of an abortion throughout the whole term. I viewed it more pragmatically from the standpoint that if you had a mother that did not want to have a child, that child's life would be miserable and they might be a drag on society. So wouldn't it be better if we allowed an abortion? I also at the time believed in a woman's right to choose. It is natural, of course, by one argument's sake, her own personal body. It evolved slowly. I was definitely in favor of some restrictions on abortions, but my views really started to shift was when my wife first became pregnant and I heard my son's heartbeat for the first time, and it was magical. And at that moment, this was a life. This is something that I needed to protect. This is something that I would do anything to avoid pain coming to in that moment. And I was so overjoyed. And that became a life worthy of protection, as I just said. And when you think about how the space program is just attempting to find a bacteria in water on Mars, on some other distant planet, that would be considered proof of life. How could a heartbeat then not be a life? I still thought that maybe it should be a woman's choice, but I would want her to be educated about the fact that this thing has a beating heart, about the fact that this is an actual life form, so that people don't make a decision spuriously or selfishly without that knowledge. And then it really came into being for me when we had our second child, my daughter, who was born with a distended bowel and had to have emergency surgery the day after that she was born on New Year's Eve. And I was there at midnight holding hands with my wife outside of the surgery room, praying that she made it through. And she almost died even after the successful surgery because she got sepsis while in NICU. And it was 3 weeks that she was in NICU. And I'm so thankful to the nurses that kept her alive. And she's alive today, and she's flourishing, she's prospering, and she just had her first day of school. And she was so excited walking in. And I said, can I give you a hug? And she jumped into my arms and gave me a hug, and they said, kiss. And she gave me a kiss. And she just bounded off, so excited to her first day of school. And all that joy, all that potentiality, that human being was almost gone before her life had even had a chance to start. And you think of that, and you think of that zygote, that baby as it grows in the womb. And I want to protect that. I don't want to deprive this thing of the opportunity of life, the opportunity of joy. And this is what I wish for everybody. I wish this for every child. And I know that not every child is born into as fortunate situation as she is family-wise, but she was not born fortunate in terms of the health aspects. But her life is so precious to me, and I want to protect it. And so I realize now that what is inside the womb is still a life. And I'm still very, very, very begrudgingly in favor of a woman's right to choose up to a certain time. Maybe it's the first trimester. Maybe it's when the heartbeat starts. Maybe the heartbeat bill has validity to it, because this is when I realized that my son was a life. And I recognize that there should definitely be exceptions. I don't believe that a woman that is raped and forcibly impregnated against her will should have to carry the child to term for many reasons, if for no other reason than we do not want to incentivize rape with the unconscious aspect, the unconscious variable of progeny, of genetic fitness, of getting more offspring out there, which obviously drives many men to go and sleep around. It is something that is just ingrained in our biology. You do not want that to be rewarded. If for no other reason, rape should be an exception. Incest should be an exception. And the woman, also with the rape, had no choice. She made there was no agency on her part in terms of getting pregnant. There should be other exceptions. If the mother's going to die, if given birth, then there is no other choice. And even up to maybe the first trimester, I'm very, very, very begrudgingly in favor of a woman's right to choose, but there is a limit. I'm kind of in that middle ground even now on the political spectrum, where I'm not somebody that's going to tell you that even though I do believe that life begins at conception, that I don't think that a woman shouldn't, before the heart is beating, before the baby is feeling pain, maybe I'm very much against it on a personal level, but maybe she should have a right to choose. But there is a limit. And if you give me the option of 0 abortions, as some people on the far right want, or abortion up to 9 months, there's no question that I will side with the right-hand side of the aisle in that case. These bills that would give women the right to abort a baby as it's about to be born, or in California not be responsible for the baby if it dies within the first 7 days or 14 days, or some absurdity like that, which basically legalizes infanticide. That's not something that I could possibly abide by, especially with so many people that want to adopt and give these children a good home, that want to be responsible to raise a child. All those couples that are unable to have children of their own. I am in favor of some limits on abortion, and generally I'm against it. But I understand that there are mistakes, that there are moments, that there are exceptions to the rule. I hope that this is reasonable. I hope that there are other people that might gain a little bit of knowledge from what I've said. If you think so, then share this video. And leave me your thoughts in the comments below as to maybe my logic is off in some way. Just sharing with you my personal stories and my own personal evolution on abortion. Peace, blessings, have a fantastic day.